Welcome to the Inferno. This is episode 26. Today's subject is when you have the realization that your home contains your enemy. So, this one's a tough one to swallow, but I'm going to specifically talk about a live-in partner or a marriage partner. And when you're in a situation with a narcissist, eventually, when you come out of the fog, you're going to have the realization that you were literally sleeping with the enemy. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but once you're aware of it, you can get back to having a peaceful home, right? Our home is so important. The home is the walls that protect us from the chaos in our society. It's supposed to be our soft place to land. There's no coincidence that this jumped up on my list. I had to rearrange the episode that we're doing today of the Inferno to the home because the moon is in Cancer, which represents home. And so there's been a lot of reflection on the importance of what home means to you. You know, our spirit comes into this vessel as a temporary home. And then the next thing from that is our upbringing in the home. And that's where the narcissist is created. Because God did not create a narcissist. God created a human soul just like you or I. And the common denominator of an empath with wounds and a narcissist has wounds. But the difference is we as genuine, authentic people choose to heal our wounds and do better by not hurting others. And the narcissist preys on other people and uses other people. So the sanctuary of the home is so vital and important for our well-being, right? And when you come to the realization that you've literally been sleeping with the enemy, it's very difficult. You know, there's people that have been in these marriages for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and we don't get time back from that. And again, the four walls of our home are supposed to be our safe place, a place where we can have true rest, a space that we can come in out of the elements and the weather. And it's supposed to be a place that's the foundation is built on a rock, which is integrity, which is love, which is loyalty. You know, when you take your wedding vows, you're supposed to take them very seriously. And then you build this home and this foundation together. But when you're living and you have this interaction with a narcissist, specifically we're talking about today a marriage with a narcissist, but this can also start in childhood when you're raised in the home by a toxic environment. So coming out of the realization that your home wasn't your safe place and that somebody that you went to bed with every single night was actually your enemy is very traumatic. And there are ways to rise up out of that. I'm a year free from the chaos, from the lies, from the deception, from the drunkenness, and the peace that's in my home and the peace that's within me has grown and balanced out tremendously. There's less anxiety, there's less drama, there's less chaos. But let's face it, if you took your wedding vows very seriously like I did and you have this realization that the person that you slept with every night was always plotting against you, was always scheming against you, never had your best interest, cannot reciprocate love to you, they were just playing this part in your life, it's very traumatic. So seek counseling like I have. Takes a whole lot of faith to overcome it. You know, you don't start out when you're saying your wedding vows thinking that the person that you're saying I do to doesn't take it seriously, that they have no loyalty, that they have no integrity, and that the whole time they're plotting and lying and scheming against you. It's very heartbreaking. You know, the previous episode I just did, episode 25, I brought up the Bible verse about the importance of self-control. And when I said the little saying about, you know, walking into a city without any walls, people are just going to be opportunists to, you know, steal, thieve, and destroy. And that's what a narcissist does. They try to dim your light. Something brought them, navigated towards you in the beginning. It was most likely money, or it could have been sex, or it could have been services of any kind. You know, you created that soft place to land on. It could be either just a home, but then you realize that there wasn't much under the surface more than that for them. It was superficial for them. It was an act for them. They were using you. It could have been using you for your personality. And it's a very difficult realization to heal from, but once you're aware of it, and if you're still in it, plan and strategize how you're going to get out of it, because a house divided will not stand. You cannot go to, energetically even, you cannot be equally yoked with somebody who's an abuser and a deceiver. I talk about it often, right? About God energy, high frequency energy creates, and the devil, the demon, the narcissist is full of chaos and drama and betrayal and scheming and plotting. So it'll never ever last, no matter who you are. You know, you could be wealthy and just drop dead beautiful or gorgeous as a person, and it's never going to be enough for a narcissist. They have not had the come to Jesus moment in their life, and probably most likely never will. So no matter how good of a stable home and an environment you provide for them, it's never going to be enough. So don't blame yourself. Just know that this is how they work, and this cycle is going to continue. The only time that you're going to see them pretending to be loving and kind and for them to actually maybe perhaps feel it a little bit would be in the beginning love phase, when it's all new for them. But it won't last long when it comes to a narcissist, psychopath, toxic person, because they're not satisfied with stability in a home. And pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your body, because eventually on this, you always, something within you knew something wasn't right. But a lot of them are really good at shape-shifting. They're great pretenders. They're great actors. And, you know, they are sent to destroy you. They're that evil. You come to Jesus moment yourself and realize that, oh my God, not only was this person not my husband or wife, but they were literally the whole time plotting against me, betraying me, deceiving me, and they found pleasure in it. That's the sick part. When they're done using you, they get very sadistic if they're not from the get-go. And they will show you when that mask slips and their true colors show through of what they truly are, and they won't care. They'll have the narcissistic smirk. They'll have the dark pupils. They'll find pleasure in hurting you. And that's what it's like to truly be sleeping with the enemy. And that foundation, that home, that place that's supposed to be your soft place to land, where you have each other's backs, was nothing but an act for them. So there's just a couple things I want to do here to end this. If you're in this type of situation, please start quietly figuring out how you're going to get out of it. Secondly, no matter how much you pour into them, they're continually going to leak it out. It's never going to be reciprocated. It's not genuine love. It's fleshly lust. And you deserve way more than that. So from Matthew 12:25, And Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Our thoughts are known by our higher power. I know this. I am testimony to this. I am a bereaved mother who lost a child. The spirit realm is very close. I'm very aware of the bigger picture and the importance of our thoughts. And I believe wholeheartedly, because the creator of the universe knew I would never quit on my husband, that God intervened by having the narcissist exit stage left for his next new toy, because his thoughts were known, his intentions were known by a higher power, and what his intentions were for me was not good. And so your light will diminish the darkness, and they will scatter like roaches, especially if you're starting to question them, especially if you're starting to hold them accountable, especially if you're giving them constructive, healthy criticism because you're a wife who wants the best for them and your marriage. They will scatter when you start doing that, and they'll run off to somebody else. So here's a quick quote, and I just want you to be very gentle with yourself if you're newly aware that you've been sleeping with the enemy. I want you to be very gentle with yourself if you're still in it. Quietly figure out and plan ways to get out of it. And here's a little quote that I found online today that I thought was very fitting for the narcissist, because this is what they are. They are shapeshifters. You can fool the whole world about who you are and wear as many masks as you want. But at the end of the day, you lay in your own head, and you can't hide from that. So if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you'll know that they do not sleep good. And if they do get any sort of sleep, they're usually numbing out with alcohol. So no matter what mask they put on, and they wore it for you too, as their spouse, and I know that it's very alarming to realize that everything you thought you were building in the marriage, in the home, was of substance to them, but it wasn't. For you, it may have been very real. For me, it was very real. And so when you wake up to the realization that the very person you thought you were married to, that you were building with, that you were creating and growing and evolving in your home space, never had your best interest, it is a very painful realization. But because it's divided, the narcissist will not love you, will not love the next person or the next person. They don't love themselves. When they are so far turned away from the creator, you can't be equally yoked with that. So again, the realization is very painful, but when you realize through dreams, through synchronicities, through revelations within yourself that what the enemy does in the dark will be brought to light, you have to listen to the messages that you get, whether it be just your own gut or the higher power talking to you. Create that safe place for yourself. Have self-control yourself. Also have great discernment going forward, because this is a spiritual battle. And if you have the realization that you've been in a bond that is unequally yoked, it's our duty as children of the universe to get out of that, so that our light can be shining bright, that we can heal, that we can be in bonds that are truly loving. Whether you want to be in another relationship or not, that's up to you. I know a lot of people that come out of these unhealthy, toxic relationships have such trust issues after that. Take your time in your healing, because if you don't, you're going to jump right back into it with another one, And ultimately, the narcissist destroys themselves. And they are so vulnerable as well and have no self-control that they get bamboozled. And hopefully, they'll get shacked up with another narcissist. And they can go live on an island together by themselves and stop preying on good, godly people. No longer allow them to be parasitic to you. Your home should be a place of your sanctuary, your peace, wonderful smelling, home cooked meals, and a place of solitude. You should be able to go to bed with your significant other at night and truly know that you feel safe with them, because a real man is a protector. A real man listens to his godly, virtuous woman for advice and never is disrespectful to you. It's got to be equally yoked. Take good care of yourselves. Let me know your experiences in the comments. This was one that just came to me under this Cancer moon tonight, of how important it is to have that soft place to land in your home. And then the realization as well, when you wake up from the nightmare that you've been living with, of the realization that your home actually contained your enemy. They are deceivers. Much love to you. See you on the next episode. Shalom, shalom.